lengths to B for Salmon and Le Coudray. Batman Sonora has dropped out, and then Al Capone. But it's Colonel Braxton, last year's runner-up, in the lead under Tony McCoy. Best mate Jim Cullity, a good jump up on the outside to close on the leader. Just 2 lengths back then to B for Salmon and Timmy Murphy, with Le Coudray and Barry Geraghty running a big race, a close fourth. Racing now towards the next, 4 from home. Colonel Braxton, best mate, followed by Le Coudray. B for Salmon, a slight error there, relinquishes third to Le Coudray, and then a couple of lengths to Al Capone. Heading now towards the final regulation, and it is Colonel Braxton in the lead, best mate poised in second. B for Salmon, third on the inside with Le Coudray. Final regulation, half a mile from home. Colonel Braxton, best mate, looms up on the outside. Le Coudray is on their heels in third. B for Salmon is fourth, and they're clear of Al Capone. Turning now towards the second last, and it's Colonel Braxton in the lead from best mate Le Coudray and B for Salmon. Racing now towards the home turn, Colonel Braxton from best mate, who's moved up on the inside. Le Coudray and B for Salmon, and best mate and Jim Cullity come through now to pick it up effortlessly from Colonel Braxton. Le Coudray is making ground. B for Salmon being pushed along. They're on the run of the final fence, and it's best mate, the leader for Jim Cullity, out in front. Le Coudray on the outside, then Colonel Braxton and B for Salmon. The final fence in the Ericsson, and best mate is over and clear. Le Coudray is second as they race inside the final 200 yards. It's the twice winner of the Cheltenham Gold Cup is going to win the Ericsson. Another big race for Jim Lewis and Henrietta Knight as best mate strolls home clear for Jim Cullity to win the Ericsson in great style. The champion is back. Cloudy Bay is back just in front of Pizarro. Rule Supreme made a hash of that one and lost valuable ground, back to fifth. And best mate goes third, being tracked all the while by B for Salmon. They're going now to the fourth from home, and it's Cloudy Bay's Pizarro, best mate and B for Salmon, followed by Rule Supreme. As they race now to the final regulation, Pizarro is just the leader from Cloudy Bays. Best mate is now joined by B for Salmon on the outside. The quartet are covered by a couple of lengths. They've got 3 left to jump, and this is the final regulation fence now. Cloudy Bays, Pizarro, best mate and B for Salmon, the 4 in line, and a great jump by B for Salmon, jumps right up on the outside under Paul Carberry now to head best mate as the 2 big guns take command of the Lexus Chase and lead Pizarro. Cloudy Bays, Rule Supreme trying to get back into it on the outside over the second last, and B for Salmon lands in the lead. Paul Carberry has a look round and sees Jim Cullity now at work as Rule Supreme makes ground on the outside, but B for Salmon has gone for home under Paul Carberry. Rule Supreme is now pressing best mate for second. They're on the run to the final fence, and it's B for Salmon out in front of Rule Supreme, who's staying on well for Barry Geraghty. Best mate is going on the inside for third. Final fence coming up. B for Salmon comes to the last in the Lexus. A big bold jump by B for Salmon, and down is Rule Supreme. Best mate is now second, but on the run up towards the finish, it's B for Salmon. Best mate is trying to cut into the lead, but it's going to be B for Salmon's day as they run up towards the finish. The Lexus Chase is on the menu for Michael Harrigan's charge. Paul Carberry has a look round and waves on the 3-time champion.
2 men too.
Last ditch. Denman from the listener. Mossbank touches down third. Then State of Play, Lantarctic, and B for Salmon. So they're heading now towards the final 3/4 of a mile. Denman the leader from the listener. State of Play, Lantarctic joining Mossbank, and they've gone a few lengths in front of B for Salmon. Now they're going to 4 from the finish. Denman leads the listener by just a length and a half. 3 parts of a length then to State of Play, Mossbank, Lantarctic, and B for Salmon. Racing now to the final ditch. 5 furlongs to go, 3 left to jump, and Denman leads. The Listener tracks him in third. State of Play, Mossbank right there on the outside, and Be for Salmon and Lantarctic still right in contention as the 6 runners covered by 5 lengths. The final ditch, 3 from home. Denman leads by just over 2 lengths. The Listener, Mossbank, State of Play, Lantarctic and Be for Salmon. Swinging now with 2 left to jump in the Lexus, and it's Denman and Ruby Walsh from The Listener and Daryl Jacob. Mossbank and Davy Russell towards the outside. Now they begin to race for the home turn, and it's Denman from The Listener moving up on the outside. In third is Mossbank as they round the home turn. Denman, The Listener and Mossbank as they straighten up for the final fence. It's Denman, Ruby Walsh from Mossbank on the outside. Davy Russell in the centre is The Listener and Daryl Jacob, but Denman leads Mossbank and The Listener. In fourth is Be for Salmon. Final fence in the Lexus Chase, and it's Denman over in front of Mossbank. Then comes The Listener, and on the run up towards the finish, it's Denman and Ruby Walsh from Mossbank. The Listener and Be for Salmon staying on again as they race up towards the finish. It's going to be another big one for Ruby Walsh and Paul Nicholls. What a hand he's got in the Gold Cup. Ruby and Denman win the Lexus. Was a little bit slower than the others, and China Rock leads now off the turn, being followed by stable companion First Lieutenant, and Fleming Star is coming there strongly on the outside. Has he got the stamina now to see them off? Turning in with 1 left to jump, and Fleming Star and Andrew Lynch come to the front from First Lieutenant. Running on for pressure is Sir Deschamps, and then Tidal Bay just in behind. Fleming Star leads to the final fence in the Lexus from First Lieutenant in second. In third is Sir Deschamps and 4 Tidal Bay. They got 200 yards to go. It's Fleming Star. First Lieutenant now on the near side comes to challenge. Fleming Star is battling back. They're racing to the final 100 yards. First Lieutenant on the near side for Brian Cooper. On the far side, Fleming Star. Tidal Bay goes between them. So Deschamps the near side, and Tidal Bay is won it. Union East right with them. Then Foil Dove, Prince Devotion, Lord Windermere, Lyrene Legend still tightly grouped. Second last ditch. Again, First Lieutenant was spring-heeled on the outside of Ruby Ball. They're closely followed by Sir Deschamps with Bobsworth, and then Union East on the outside. At the next fence now, Ruby Ball, First Lieutenant, Sir Deschamps and Bobsworth. Union East is next. Lyrene Legend, Foil Dove, Lord Windermere and Prince Devotion. They're going now towards the 4th fence from the finish, and still the field covered by 4 lengths. Ruby Ball going to rise with First Lieutenant on the outside. Sir Deschamps and Bobsworth, and Union East just behind them in 5th. Then Foil Dove and Lyrene Legend. Lord Windermere trying to improve. Prince Devotion is just the back marker. Last of the ditches now, 3 from the finish. As they go to it, Ruby Ball on the inside alongside First Lieutenant, followed by Bobsworth and Sir Deschamps, and then Union East, Lyrene Legend, Foil Dove, Lord Windermere, and just a couple of lengths now to Prince Devotion. They turn and race across towards the second last. Ruby Ball and First Lieutenant on the outside. Sir Deschamps is third. Then Lyrene Legend, Bobsworth on the inside, Union East and Lord Windermere. They're racing now towards the home turn in the Lexus, and it is Ruby Walsh and Ruby Ball. First Lieutenant, David Casey on the outside. They're chased up by Bobsworth and Barry Geraghty. Then Sir Deschamps. They're racing now towards the final fence. Ruby Ball and First Lieutenant from Bobsworth towards the stand side, and then Sir Deschamps. They're coming down to the final fence in the Lexus, and as they rise, First Lieutenant in the centre. Ruby Ball over on the far side, being followed by Bobsworth. They're racing inside the last 200 yards, and First Lieutenant, here comes Bobsworth, the Gold Cup winner, to cut them down. They're racing up towards the finish, and Bobsworth, the champion, has done it. Bobsworth and Barry Geraghty win the Lexus.
There's a length and a half to Janadil Plutar, poised on the outside of Delta Work, then Franco de Port and Sam Crow. Next on the far side, 5 fences from the finish. Kemboy the leader still, from Galvin, who's chased from Flagfall, then Mellon the check colours. Franco de Port is trying to improve on the inside of Janadil, then Plutar, Delta Work and Sam Crow. At the 4th last fence, 5.5 furlongs from the finish, Kemboy continues to go along in the lead, but is now joined by Galvin. 2 lengths off them is Franco de Port, then Mellon. Janadil up in between his stable companions. The final 3 are Delta Work, Plutar and Sam Crow is at the back of the field as they jump the last ditch. 3 fences from the finish. Kemboy by less than a length to Galvin. A break of 3.5 to Mellon. Plutar is starting to check them off on the outside. Then Janadil as they turn towards the second last. Kemboy the leader from Galvin. Plutar closes on the outside of Mellon. And then comes Janadil. A bad mistake by Franco de Port. Delta Works come under pressure, and then on the inside is Sam Crow. Kemboy into the straight with closing right up on the outside. Plutar, who's coming there very strongly. Galvin is ridden in third and losing ground. Then Janadil and Mellon in line for the final fence in the Savills Chase. Plutar strikes the front, but only just from previous winner Kemboy and Paul Town, and Galvin is trying to come back at them for Davy Russell. Inside the final 200 yards, it's Plutar with the smallest of leads from Kemboy. Galvin is still coming on the near side. Plutar is all out from Galvin, who's closing with every stride. Galvin on the near side of Plutar and Kemboy.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.